Hi guys, it's 3 p.m. chat time with Binti Love Podcast. Um, okay, let me report. Okay, now according to sources online, it's a new show that's on um called Heart and Hustle, season 1, episode 2. Okay, so it's beautiful women that are allegedly all entrepreneurs, which is really nice, and I thought that was good. Um, I think it's about about five of them, 5 or 6 of them now, and I think that's really good. Um, Now, Manure and her husband seem to be a nice, radiant couple. Like, I really like them together, and her mother's staying there, which is a grandmother there with the kids. So I really like that, together like that. And Manure has some type of um, personality, where she has things that she deals with and things of that sort. Um, you know, like on, I think she's like, I don't know, she kind of like posts about her family and other things. She takes a lot of pictures and things of that sort, and her doing things, so I like that. But she started out as an engineer, and I think she did that for like 20 years, and then she basically said, you know what, I'm doing both of these, and then she said, you know what, I'm going to stick with this lifestyle, advertising for lifestyles and taking photos and things of that sort, which I think is good. But I could not believe that she had all those children and did not know how to cook. Yeah, so we saw that she, had all the children and she did not know how to cook. Um, and so because they had a date, her and her husband, where she was actually trying to cook for him and some type of studio with an actual chef. So I was like, wow, all these kids and doesn't know how to cook. It happens, right? It definitely happens. This late in the marriage and you're still going on cooking show dates. That's kind of funny um, and cute, but surprising. Really, I'm really surprised by that. Yeah. So, anywho, seems like a very good show, and it's in Houston. It's in Houston. It's on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and it's the beginning season of it. Again, and this was episode on the second episode that I'm going over here, doing a review on it. And, I think I like it, because it's nice to see just women that are trying to do things together and see them together and still try to have some type of group together and, be able to talk to one another and share their experiences. And, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of beautiful, powerful entrepreneurial women out there. And so this kind of debunks anything that says, no, all women do is basically don't provide for themselves. But it shows that, yeah, women do provide for themselves, and they do become great entrepreneurs and things of that sort. And like Manure, she's like, was an engineer for 20 years. I think it was an oil engineer. I can't remember what's the name of it, what type of engineer, but she dealt with like oil, like, like you might put in your car, I think, allegedly. It could be some oil from somewhere else or gas or something like that. But she's definitely an engineer. So far it's off to a good start. They have some issues with each other, that allegedly they're trying to basically, I don't know, trying to smooth out, which is challenging. But I don't know how long they've actually been together, like as a group. Like, how long have they been together? I don't really know. But they seem like a good pairing. They kind of remind me a little bit from the beginning. If any of you guys watched the show, The Bell Collective. So they remind me of that group, where it starts out a little smooth, but, as we can see, they have some bumps and turns that do happen. And my only thing is, I don't want them to have bumps and turns in their relationships just before the show, which I kind of feel like that sometimes. It's like, okay, are you going to have are they going to start having issues because it's like, you know, we need something for the show, or is it like they really have issues? Because I really don't like if like all the girls like were really fun and had a lot to go with, hanging out with each other and having fun, and then basically they just try to do things because it's like, okay, we don't want to sound boring. And no one wants to sound boring, but I want an authentic friendship. That's what I'm really trying to say. Let these friendships be authentic, guys, and let them be like, you know, true stories, not just, you know, trying to say something, um, just to have something to say when actually, you know, like, your friend is like looking at you like, oh my goodness, I thought, you know, um, everything was good, and now when we get on the show, you have so much to say because it's like, um, you want to make it seem like it's a controversial issue we have together, when really it was nothing, you know, until a show. And that's the type of things I really hate. Is like, be authentic, you know, because you know, people really want to parallel these type of shows with their own life and things of that sort, where you know, they can basically say, oh, okay, and try to learn from some of these women, you know. But if they just want to make it seem like, okay, we have these issues only because, you know, we have these issues because I feel like in real friendships, you're not going to have issues every time you get together. Like, you know, oh, I always have all this stuff to say, and I don't want it. I want it to be natural because no one's going to argue every time they get together, right? No one's going to argue every time they get together. So I don't feel that they should argue every time they get together on these shows. But sometimes I feel as though people want there to be an argument, because they feel like if we don't bring anything, then they're going to cancel the show. And, you know, but I don't want them to speak like narratives, you know, on their show that don't exist in real life. Because sometimes I'm like, I wouldn't even go out with these women, you know. If every time I went out with them, it was always an issue, I wouldn't even go out with these women, you know. But it seems like a really good show. It's, again, the name of the show is, uh, Heart and Hustle. And I was like, Heart and Hustle? That's different, you know. So I'm wondering, I guess the hustle they're trying to talk about is the fact that they're entrepreneurs and they're trying to, you know, keep their own businesses, and it's more about the women than the men, which a lot normally it is. But, you know, on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Alabama is about the men and the women. This apparently seems to be mostly about the women, but we haven't gotten through everything yet. This is just beginning episodes, you know, but it seems like, you know, episode 2, it seems like it's more about the women, you know, so I don't know if it's going to stay there like that. They've, you know, but, you know, basically with Manure, I know I'm not saying her name right, but they brought on, you know, earlier that, you know, her mother came from India, and now her mother's staying there in the household with her and her husband and things of that sort. And so that kind of, I don't know, she kind of reminds me of, what's her name? Drew Sidora. Manera kind of reminds me of Drew Sidora a little bit, but you know, she has a little firecracker in her, so she doesn't like people calling her cute or cutesy. I don't know what episode, but I think it might have happened in this episode. But you know, she doesn't like people calling her cutesy, things of that sort, so she has issues with that. There's other ladies there, you know, and so far so good. Like, you know, because I do like to learn from these episodes, you know, and things of that sort. So far so good. Again, it's a new show, so we have to see what's really going to go on with it. But so far so good, you know. The ladies seem to be interesting, and they have a lot to bring individually so far. But, you know, some of them do not like each other, coming for their men, you know. And so, one of the ladies have issues with, apparently they sleep in separate bedrooms now. I think it's with this episode. But, yeah. Or the prior episode 1. But, some of the ladies, I don't know all their names yet, but some of the ladies are basically having, issues with how the women talk about their husbands because they have issues in their marriage and things of that sort. And, but it's a good look. It's a very good look at Houston, too. I didn't know Houston was such a city, but, it was definitely a good look at Houston, too. And, the couples there and the marriages they have. And, yeah, so that pretty much wraps up season 1, episode 2. Again, Heart and Hustle is a new show out there on the Alpha Free Network. So definitely good for that. To watch that and stay tuned and things of that sort. And, yeah. Okay, guys. All right, now you're watching 3 p.m. Chat-tyme. With Binti Love Podcast. Make sure to hit that subscription button and tell me, guys, what you think in the comments there. Okay, bye, guys.